So we got some great interviews. We'll get some more. Mm-hmm. You're going till 9 o'clock tonight. Why don't you give us an overview of the event? If you're watching this and you didn't get to attend this year's event, we want to encourage you to come. I missed last year's event, and I was kicking myself for it just because of what I heard about it. After attending this year's event, I'm really kicking myself that I didn't see last year's event. So, Well, I think tell us about what did you put on here today?
Next year could be even better. So
really, next year is going to be even better.
Yeah. So if you didn't make this one and you live in Puerto Rico, or especially if you live outside of Puerto Rico but you're Puerto Rico curious, definitely come to the next one.
I like that, Puerto Rico curious.
So I'm from San Francisco, so we talk like that. It's kind of I'm a recovering Californian, so I'm working on it. So last year we had an amazing lineup of, it was just to get a proof of concept, get the right people in the room, and it exceeded expectations. We had amazing sponsors, amazing speakers, some really interesting insights. A lot of those are on our YouTube channel, and we'll put a few of these talks on our YouTube channel. But this year we really wanted to bring it up a notch, and that's where bringing people like Robert in, and trying to, really, we had a luxury broker panel, which was extremely entertaining.
They were great.
And that one you have to see in person. Some amazing kind of government talks. We had Sebastian Negron from DDEC, and everyone is kind of saying the same thing, including the government people, that they all want to make everything more efficient. And everyone is talking about, in Puerto Rico, so we're talking about permits going from 6 to 24 months down to 2 weeks, which is a great goal. But even speaking with the secretary, just bring all the permits to the one platform, and then who knows what the limit would be? It could be days or hours for permit pre-approvals. So that's where I think we are headed there.
Yeah, I would say the overwhelming kind of idea that I take away from today is I came 8 years ago. Puerto Rico's gone pretty much up and to the right for me, and all the time I get asked, is it too late? Did I get in early enough? Or if I came now, is it still a good time to buy? Is it still a good time to invest on the island?
Yep.
What I got today is the overwhelming answer is that we're just starting. We have nothing but kind of green fields in front of us for the next decade and a half, and you heard that from panelist after panelist after panelist. Which is very cool for you guys. If you're Puerto Rico curious, you haven't missed it. You haven't missed it at all.
Okay. I hope you don't start using that. But
I think I'm going to start using that. I'm going to steal that.
Well, I think where it is kind of top of the market is for a house that was bought because someone was saving $100 million on their taxes in 2021 or 2022, and they paid above market for a property where it was one of 3 properties that fit their criteria that was available. That's a totally separate market. Where there's a ton of green space, a ton of opportunity. There's amazing land for new, if you want to build a villa, if you want to build a small project. There's a lot of kind of abandoned properties, and they're abandoned for a lot of reasons. Basically, if you want to inherit a property, this was one of the talks last year. It can cost up to $30,000 just on the legal to inherit it,
and 2 or 3 years.
And then it might have back taxes dating back to the 60s. And interest on those too. And so if someone wants to take their abandoned property that they inherited, pay the back taxes and pay the inheritance fees, they're talking about potentially $150,000 for a property that's worth 80. So why are you going to do that? And so it explains why some properties are abandoned, why some of this stuff is happening. And we had this a great presentation from Brandon from the Boys and Girls Club, who we gave him some data, and he was able to do a report on Aguas Buenas, which is where he's from, and basically showed that it takes 6, 7, 8 years of salary just for someone his age to buy a median home.
Wow.
And so if you're talking about graduating from college in 2022 with debt, and then trying to buy a home that's going to take you 8 years of salary to make, and then you're talking about a 25-30% income tax on top of that.
Right.
This generation is going to have a harder time, and so there is kind of that angle to it.
And that in Aguas Buenas, that's a very affordable home. The median home is like $120,000 or $130,000, I think he said. So you could imagine it's even harder in the areas where the housing is more expensive, right? So that's also a universal problem. That's not unique.
But it's a lot better than California. or a lot better than New York, or a lot,
Yes.
yeah, where it's not even an option to even someone
Yeah.
my age to think of buying something, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 8 years sounds like forever, but when you compare it to California, where it might take 80 years.
Yep.
And they make a lot more money, and it still takes all of that.
We'll see when the
time.
100-year mortgages come out.
Yeah. So if you're in California and you're Puerto Rico curious, come to Puerto Rico because it's still affordable.
Everyone was also, that was another topic, nonstops to LA and San Francisco. People are pushing that. We gave some data to an airline last year that should help one of those routes. Can't say which.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, but basically we found that there are a lot of Californians living in Puerto Rico, and that there would be really good demand and really good seat premiums on a narrow body long haul flight to California. So,
And we got to hear from Umberto, the Port Authority guy,
Yep.
and the island is investing in the airports around the island,
Yep.
particularly Mayagüez, Ponce, and then the big one is Aguadilla.
Yep.
And they're all with the intent to bring more people to the island, make it easier to get here, and have nonstop flights and things like that.
Yep.
So as real estate investors, whenever we hear that, we like to follow the development stuff. So that for me was particularly interesting. I was writing notes. the whole time he
people
was
forget,
talking.
like, San Juan's not the only commercial airport. You can fly United into, Aguadilla from
Yeah.
Newark. You can fly
Yeah.
to Ponce nonstop commercially. Like, there's a lot of options.
Yeah.
You don't have to live in the metro area and then drive 2 hours. There's options, yeah.
Even though I moved west, I still fly out of San Juan, but I think it's more by habit than anything else. I just need to remember that there's that other airport.
The
over there.
parking's cheaper out there, yeah. So.
Parking is free in
Yeah,
Aguadilla.
yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So then, Henry, you did a talk that was pretty eye-opening about AI and where the world is going. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so if there's any kind of chess fans out there, right now in Puerto Rico, every real estate decision is made with incomplete information.
Yes.
But you're kind of doing the best you can with the timeline that you have. That information is becoming more complete every day that goes by. And so eventually it's going to be near perfect. I don't know if that's going to be in 6 months, a year, or 100 years, but it's getting there.
Henry had up on the chessboard, and the first piece, or the first board, was about half filled in and half just completely empty, and said, that's what the data looks like. And when I saw it, I laughed out loud and thought, that's exactly what we deal with. We have half information. We have, even when we think we have the information, oftentimes it's wrong.
Yep.
So the idea that the island's going to go from not perfect information, bad data all around, which is one of the things that I like as a real estate investor, but he's going to fix it and then he's going to make everything go up in price. That's what's going to happen, by the way.
Robert.
Then I'm going to leave. And once you get that perfect chessboard, I'm out of here, guys. I'm like, the data's too easy, there's too much competition, and people are paying too much money, I'm leaving. But for now, it's still safe to come.
Well, so get in before then, I suppose.
Get in now.
Robert and everyone, you've all been playing fog of war chess for the past, decades, and if it becomes perfect information, then analysis becomes commoditized, and then it becomes more about creativity, judgment, relationships, all those other things that I don't see the AI getting good at anytime soon. That will be really valuable here in Puerto Rico, and so it'll be more events, more in-person stuff, more boots on the ground, better taste, better judgment, more creativity. I think it's going to be amazing. It's just a different skill set than being able to build DCF models like the past 10 years. Yeah.
You had the audience raise their hand, and you said, how many people have used AI? My hand went up, and half of the room, or 90% of the room's hand went up, right?
Yep.
And you said last year you asked the same question, about half of the room went up. So you see this growth. Then you ask the next question, how many people have coded something and built something with AI? And my hand didn't go up, and only like
it was 10%.
10% of the room went up.
Maybe less. Yeah.
And the guess is, the expectation is that next year when you ask the question, everybody's hand will go up.
At least 50%.
At least 50%.
Yeah.
It's so fast what's happening with AI, and it's such a game changer. And this was very interesting to me, that you identified several kind of pain points that are about to change, like for us banking, right?
Yep.
Like, so if I sell a house to a Don who wants to live in a house, he goes to the bank and he qualifies for a loan. That process could take 45 days, could take 60. On the island of Puerto Rico, it could take a year. But what you're saying is that soon, because of the full data, because of the perfect data that AI will be able to look to, that process is going to go from taking 45 days to maybe taking 4.5 hours.
Yeah, if the bank can, pull all the records, that they have your credit profile, that they have the property profile, if the satellite imagery is really good, if there are AI models, sending appraisers and sending inspectors to these sites, on the same day and optimizing those routes.
Yeah.
All that stuff will eventually lead to super efficient underwriting, low underwriting times, efficient taxes, efficient permitting. We don't want efficient taxes, maybe we don't, but everything
maybe
besides
AI
that,
can get rid of the IRS though.
Maybe.
Then they'll just come audit you with a computer. Do it online.
The AI auditing you and arresting you on the same day would not be fun.
There's a movie out about that right now.
I think so, there's been some books written.
Yeah. The movies are always a predictor of the future.
Yep.
So the fact that they're making movies about AI arresting you is a bad sign.
Okay, yeah, maybe not that part. Everything else, sure. Permits in 2 days, I'm all for. Yeah.
Permits in 2 days, 4.5 hour approvals on a loan. We're good with that. And just about every other industry is going to be affected as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. What's left tonight? We're about 3/4 of the way through the event today.
Yep. So we have the executive director of the oversight board coming to speak last. We have the new OSIF secretary coming to speak as well. New as in like a year ago, I think. Really excited for that. And yeah, I think there's a lot of interviews that we'd like to share with you that I'm going to try to get Robert in the room with those people, either here or in the coming weeks. Yes. These are people that have, really understand Puerto Rican real estate, as good as anyone. And yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting to see them on the channel and to bring their insights to as many people as possible in an audience, I think, that they wouldn't have reached otherwise, I think.
Yeah, for sure. We've done 3 or 4 interviews today with people that we wouldn't have been able to get had we not been here to kind of corral them into the room here and say, hey, sit in that chair, talk to me.
Next year we'll have a line where they come in automatically on the way out, like a duty free or something.
set up the event like IKEA so that they have to walk past our booth where we've got a camera and I'm just saying.
Exactly.
That's great. So Henry, at the end of your talk, you made an offer, I guess you'd call it an offer, of possible grant to use actual Red Atlas. Tell us about how that would work.
So we had a call for applications, and basically we realized that if we want to build a feature on our platform, it could take anywhere from a week to 6 months, depending on our backlog, and it can be very expensive. And a lot of people have very specific use cases for the data. Like they want to know what are all the properties that don't have solar panels yet, and how do I reach those people?
Right.
Can you tell me all the properties that might have flood risk for insurance? Can you tell me where all the good deals are? Where's all the land that hasn't been permitted in 20 years? Things like that. Or how do I find abandoned properties? In our data, there's a lot of different ways to do that where we don't have time to go do it for the person for their particular use case.
Got it.
And so what we opened up is we want other people to start playing with their data in the same way that our engineering team plays with the data. So rather than us building a tool that says, here's a ranking of all the all listings that would be good for Airbnb, 2-unit Airbnbs in Fajardo, you can access our API. You can do the query yourself and come up with that list in very little time. You can build, if you want to plug it into a dashboard that you built in Claude, you can do that. And so as people start building these tools themselves, we're just going to allow our data to be hooked up to whatever tool they build. So the platform will be for people that don't want to do that and just want to get in and out with the data in a way that's really interactive. But for your more advanced users who have their own special sauce for how they want to find deals or how they want to work on the island, or source clients or whatever it is that they want to do, they can now hook in directly to our database, which includes everything from deeds, permits, contacts, parcels, listings, comps, you name it. It's all there. You guys go pull it yourself. Plug it into your dashboard, make your own, call list, whatever you need to do with our data. And so we're giving out different grant tiers. So we have a $10,000 grant tier, a $50,000 grant tier, and a $250,000 grant tier. And so if you apply, you could get up to $250,000 in grants, depending on how you want to use the data and what we think is interesting.
Amazing.
The only caveat is we want to be able to call you once a month just to see how it's going.
How it's going.
Yep. And if we can do anything better. Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
And more importantly, if we can build anything specific for you, like if you want a specific indicator that you want calculated a certain way, we'll build it for you. We've done that for clients recently.
I've got one.
Okay.
Yeah. I want single owner properties where the owner doesn't live on the island of Puerto Rico. But I don't want an abandoned property that's owned by 75 different heirs. I want the property that's sitting here on the island of Puerto Rico that if I can just find one Juan Morales, then I'd be able to talk to him about his house.
Yeah, the mayors are the ones that want that other one. So we'll find those ones for you. The single owner, that's doable.
Yep, that's doable, right?
Yep.
That's amazing. Well, Henry, it's always a pleasure to sit down and talk to you. I appreciate the partnership that we've had. Thanks for having us. We've really enjoyed it. We're going to go back in there and watch the rest of today. Hopefully we'll get another couple interviews before the end of this. And we'll get you into the studio to do another video with us soon. And we would love to continue the partnership.
This is way better in person. So
this is so good. Yeah, the last couple times you've been in South America, I think.
Yep, now I'm back here full time. And
oh, you are?
Yeah, I was just there for a couple months last year, working on the front end of the platform, got everything we need to be done, and really miss Puerto Rico, miss being here, and so I'm here for the long haul. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I think our Apex members that didn't get to use the Red Atlas membership would love for us to work something else out so that they can do something too.
We'll work on it for you guys,
There we go. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, Robert.
All right, thanks, Henry.